Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, and I'm a New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and I'm also a proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with the renowned recording artist and songwriter, Julia Appleton. For more on Julia, you can read more about her right below this video, but in the meantime, here is a sneak peek at the amazing talent of Julia.
Wasting away, that's how I feel today. Pull the sheets back over my head. It's raining again, but I need a sunny day. All I see is more bad news instead. Will we ever rise again? No, I don't wanna seem like a drama queen.
Well, hello, Julia. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Well, the audience just got a sneak peek of your incredible talent. And I want to know, Julia, where you grew up, where you are now, and when you knew you had this bug of not only as a singer, but as a creator.
Oh, that's a loaded question, but
You're
I will get through it.
I know, I didn't think you would be stepping into a Barbara Walters interview.
I will give you the very condensed version because I know we don't have all afternoon, but I was born in Los Angeles. My parents were both active in the entertainment industry. They were both musicians, models, photographers. And
Wow.
When they found out I could sing at age 7, they freaked out. Well, backtrack. They had me in like all the commercials and stuff when I was little. They did like the Shirley Temple ringlets and all of that. So I did a bit of commercial work. And so age 7, they got me in the studio recording like Disney covers. And then they were just like all in on like the talent shows and you just have to be a big star. So they actually moved me to Nashville when I was 12 because they were hoping that I would be like the next Leanne Rimes.
Oh my goodness, at 12.
At 12. So at 12, I did the whole circuit of the record companies and met all these really wonderful people who are really nice, but they're saying, unless you can bankroll this 12-year-old, we are not going to put investment money behind someone this young. Like it's just too much of a risk.
Wow.
So yeah, which, I think was a good thing. For overall, I'm glad that panned out the way that it did. So,
yeah.
Through high school, I kept doing my own thing. I grew up listening to like old school, like Beatles, Eagles. My dad played in a cover band, so he like immersed me in that stuff. And then Sarah Bareilles came out, I think when I was 13, and I was just like, I love you. And I feel seen as a woman who like, I love soul music and I love pop music and I play piano. And there just wasn't really anybody who looked like me and who did what I did. And so that really kind of reignited my desire to do it for myself.
Well,
so
the interesting thing, by the way, and sorry to interrupt. I was
no,
just
please.
say that as you're talking, and I'm like, you looking at Sarah and feeling seen and heard as a woman, as an artist, I can imagine that, like, whereas, and correct me if I'm wrong, whereas a kid, maybe it was more for your parents, but now you were like, wow, it was like the universe coming together with like, yeah, I do have a look. I do have a voice, literally and figuratively, but wow, I can now do it for me on my terms.
Yes, it was so lovely. And unfortunately, that tone didn't last very long because 16, 17, I moved out when I was 17, went to school for music business for a few years. And I worked with some producers and some, management. And to be honest, like they just weren't salt of the earth people. There were a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of bad deals proposed. And so after kind of feeling like a bit bruised from that, I kind of just set music aside. And ironically enough, I'm in Nashville, which Nashville didn't make you feel special. Like you're a dime a dozen, like it's as if you're moving to LA to be a TV actor. Like, big whoop, good for you. So there was camaraderie, but there wasn't a lot of cheering each other on. And I am not competitive, like not even a little bit. So anytime I had the opportunity to compete with some of these incredible musicians, I was kind of like, nope, like you can go ahead, cut me in line. So yeah, I got into restaurant management for years, and that was my life. And I wrote songs for fun. And my husband, Francois, he started learning how to produce his own music because he's also a musician. So we'd sing and write stuff together, but it was really just for us, for fun. And then upon moving to Canada, like opportunities just kind of started opening up. The most notable was definitely the Johnny Mercer songwriting workshop that I got to go to, which was like, sounds cliche, but literally life-changing. Like so good.
Talk a little bit about how that came about. And by the way, I want to affirm something for you, Julia. I love that in every step of your journey, it was just timing wasn't right, but also your heart wasn't correctly aligned with the universe. And now here you are getting to, as a little kid, just do your thing with the love of your life when you want. And it's like your heart reopened up again on your time, your terms. And
yes.
in the Johnny Mercer competition, that was just a few years ago, wasn't it?
It's 2019.
So talk about how that all happened.
So I was working with a girl in Toronto that I met at a musical theater workshop named Colleen, and she had done the Johnny Mercer workshop, I think in 2016, with her co-writer. And so she and I were writing just like fun pop bops together. And she's like, you need to apply for this. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not going to get in.
You're right.
Or like, I've done stuff like that. And it's always like, it's nice, but it's never like life-changing like people says it's going to be. So she told me to apply for it. I came to my wonderful husband because I like I said, I'm bad at selling myself. I'm bad. I'm not competitive. So like whenever I have to fill out like an application that's like, tell me about yourself artistically, I'm always like, I can't do it. So he like helped me apply. He like wrote most of the application for me, and we submitted it and forgot about it. And I got in and I was shocked, and I flew there honestly so excited to meet people. Like at the time I was working on a musical. I've written a musical, which is kind of random, but really
And the name
cool.
of it?
The name is called The Yellow Wallpaper. It's an adaptation of the short story, The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. So it's a full-length pop musical about a woman struggling with postpartum depression in the late 1800s, and nobody knows what that is.
Wow.
So,
and by the way, the audience is going to get a little sneak peek right now of the song All My Life from The Yellow Wallpaper. And who's performing in that?
If it's the video, I think it is, then it is myself and my book writer, Hannah Church.
I love that it's the both of you, the writers, performing. And speaking of writing as well, I want to talk a little bit about the video that the audience saw at the beginning of the interview. The song Make It Out Alive, and how that song and the concepts for that video came about for you.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm hazy on when we released that song, but I feel like it was early in the pandemic. April. So I was in Los Angeles at the end of February doing music stuff, visiting family, and I had planned to fly to Atlanta to workshop my musical with the Alliance Theater in Atlanta, I was so excited. Like it was such a great opportunity. And the day before I was getting on the plane to Atlanta, like the world shut down. And so I ended up canceling, like our show got canceled, everything shut down. And so I just flew back home. And I don't know, like, I guess the seed of the song was this concept of feeling so privileged that I got to fly home to Canada where healthcare was accessible and where at the time, like they were really taking things seriously and shutting things down. And I felt very safe. And like the government here did a really wonderful job of financial support early on. And so I'm in Canada and I'm watching pretty much everyone that I know and love in the United States really struggling. I have friends who are nurses. I have a lot of friends who are like high risk, and I was just feeling, I was spiraling. And at the same time, somebody coming from restaurant management, it was so nice to have all this free time to work on art. And so the lyric that kind of birthed the song was like, the pressure is on to make something meaningful. I can barely fix my face. Like, what can I do that hasn't been done before? And nothing I say will save the human race. And that really sums it up.
I mean, you're such an incredible human of the planet. I mean, you know, the way that you even say that you're not competitive, you'd much rather have someone cut you in line. And even in our early correspondence, it was all about other people, you promoting other people while I'm trying to, you know, book the interview with you. And it's
like, no, it's you.
No, but it's such a beautiful thing, Julia, because it comes out in your art. And I think it makes you even that much more of a vessel. And, you know, speaking of more art to be created, I know that you are working on a very special project. And if you could just speak a little bit about this upcoming debut EP.
Yes. So I won't give away the name yet because it's a surprise, but I decided that I'm going to start releasing my own music again, because Make It Out Alive was honestly kind of a fluke. I put it out to bring comfort to other artists specifically who were feeling the way that I was feeling, which I know a lot of us were. And so that kind of trickled into, I write so many songs with so many artists, and I love coaching, and I love like lifting other people up. And I had been out of the spotlight for so long, and I genuinely like didn't think that I would ever want to like put my own music out again. But I don't know, like the last couple months have really just softened my heart to this idea. So I went through my massive song catalog of songs that were just collecting dust, and I started just seeing them pop out at me of like all these different songs that nobody was using. I was like, well, why wouldn't I just put them out there? So I have a moniker that I'm going to be releasing the music under, just because I love my name. I love my given name, but there's baggage. You know, I've been performing under that name for over 20 years. So I wanted it to be fresh and new. So I'm probably going to announce it early September and I'm going to have 3 singles come out, and then probably a 6-song EP.
Julia, that is so incredible. And, you know, you have your hand in so many different disciplines within the arts, but I think if there's an underlying theme to it all, is that you find the light in the dark, you find the hope in the despair. And I think now more than ever, when people need art as an opportunity to maybe look at themselves in the mirror, in someone as vulnerable as you, to put, you know, your art out there with all the scars and blemishes, that there's such beauty to it. And I feel very honored to have met you, but also I'm so excited that through FENIX, you're going to be able to, you know, gain even more traction from a worldwide audience. You're absolutely incredible. And I'm so grateful for your time today.
So kind of you. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Julia.
In the digital age, artists and bands struggle to make a living. In fact, only a small number of artists can live off their craft. For the 98% of artists that don't have the luxury of being signed to a label, it's tough. But artists deserve to live off their art. Wherever you are around the world, appreciation of music does not change. FENIX brings bands and their fans together, whilst allowing bands to properly monetize their passion. The FENIX app will directly connect bands and fans with no need for middlemen. We're utilizing the blockchain to give the power back to the artist once and for all. Join FENIX, join the change.